Okay, this is the Weekend Warrior here, and we're going to talk soft plastics for beginners. Okay, if you read on the forum, you will see that everybody has a different opinion. And as opinions go, it's an opinion, and it's not right or wrong, it's just what's easiest for them. When I got started on this, I wanted to keep it as cheap as possible. So I got me the hot plate, which was like 15 or 20 bucks. Standard hot plate, fully adjustable. I got me these tin cups. I got me a small thing of plastic. I got me a couple colors, watermelon, something else, a glitter, black I think, a little hardener, a little softener. Got me some worm oil to put my baits in. This stuff lasts a long time. So I ordered up my items and I got them in, and I tried to make plastic using this hot plate and these tin cups. Well, first problem from a beginner's perspective, I didn't have any accurate way to measure the plastic. So when I tried to mix up colors, it was very difficult to create the same color twice. That was a minor problem. The major problems are these handles are loose. They're horrible to use, okay? You try to pour the plastic and the cup moves around. You have to take them apart and glue them on. But even that isn't the major problem. The major problem is it takes a very long time for these cups to heat up the plastic to the correct temperature. You can't rush the plastic, because if you do, you'll burn the bottom of the plastic, which will disfigure the colors in it, and you'll have all these nasty specks. That is very easy to do with these tin cups. It takes about 10-15 minutes to heat up this little bit of plastic in these cups. Then once you have it heated up, you take it off to pour your bait, and they don't pour good. The first bait will pour okay, and then after that, it starts immediately developing problems. The plastic doesn't want to pour out the little notches. The plastic, the tin cools off really fast, so then the plastic starts to cool off really fast. And the cooler your plastic is, the harder it is to pour. Also, if you pour one bait and you want to reheat it, you think, oh, just put it on here. Well, guess what? It doesn't reheat fat very quickly on this plate. It takes a long time. So just to reheat one bait, to pour another bait, it takes several minutes. And again, you have no control because the plastic starts to harden. That's really the very biggest problem is there's no control at all. And the plastic cools and solidifies way too fast. So I really don't recommend this setup for beginners. You're better off to bite the bullet, get you some Pyrex cups. You can get these from the dollar store, from Walmart. I think I got this one from a garage sale. This one's unmarked. This allows you to measure your plastic. So you want to make the same recipe every time. You dump in 4 ounces of plastic, 2 tablespoons of salt, 3 drops of this, 3 drops of that, and you've got your plastic, and you can make it the same every single time. But the beauty of this also is you put it in the microwave, you hit a minute, you pull it out, you stir it, you put it in for another minute, you pull it out, you stir it, and then 30 seconds at a time, and you're done. Within probably 3 minutes, for a half a cup of plastic, you're pouring. Also, these glass cups clean up very easy. The tin cups do not. You can see there's plastic stuck to these tin cups. I mean, they're a horrible mess. And the Pyrex, if I want to clean the Pyrex, boom, done, clean. There's my plastic, there's my glass. So that was another major difference with the Pyrex. In fact, here's a half a cup, almost a cup of plastic that I pulled out of Pyrex. I grabbed it the same way. I grabbed it, pulled it out, the whole thing. That's a solid chunk of plastic bait. So the Pyrex is so definitely the better way to go. Use a metal mixing spoon. the plastic peels right off there. I don't know if you was able to see that a second ago when I peeled it loose. And then when I stir, I put my spoon inside the glass, which you can see on the bottom of this one. I was using this for my spoon stand earlier. I also use a hot pad to try to actually keep the temperature in the plastic when I melt it. If I melt a cup of plastic or more, I use the big one because it gives me room to work. And then when if I've started off in this and I get down to say half a cup, to keep the temperature in the plastic, I will pour it in a smaller one on a reheat, and that'll help hold the temperature. So as far as your early stages, what equipment do I need? I definitely would say spend the money for a used microwave out of a garage sale. Check Craigslist, any other local markets that you have. You're going to need some cups. You're going to need you can get this stuff at the dollar store. This stuff is cheap. Tins, little metal spoons, just cheap stuff. You're going to need some good scissors, small scissors for cutting runners and fine trimming work. You don't need measuring spoons, but I do recommend them because it makes it easier. These are actually labeled smidgen, dash, and pinch. I'm sure regular measuring spoons would work just fine. Here's some other plastics that I've just pulled out of the glass. They just pull right out. That Pyrex is so nice to work with. You're going to need a mold, of course. I recommend starting off with a store-bought mold, just silicone or rubber. There's plenty of places where you can get molds that are just $5 or $6. Just get 2 or 3 of those. Don't invest a lot of money until you decide you're going to want to do baits, because once you decide you're going to do baits, you are going to end up with a ton of stuff. I've got a ton of stuff here, and we'll end up seeing a lot of it in later videos. So you're beginning, you're going to need a mask. Just go ahead and buy, this isn't a dusk mask, this is actually padded. This protects against fumes. You're going to want one that protects against fumes because this stuff does smell once you heat it up. So I highly recommend a fume mask, and these aren't that expensive. When you buy your plastic, just suck it up, buy a gallon. You will go through it so fast just learning how to mix up colors. And then after that, you'll probably only buy it 5 gallons at a time. These are just a few colors on this back wall, and I have a few glitters to mix up some of the colors that I want. You'll end up with tons of them. The best thing you can do is just get a couple of things to try it if you're really unsure. If you don't have a lot of spare time to make stuff, just don't even bother, because once you get these items, you'll spend hours and hours and hours trying to make molds, mixing up colors. If you don't have time, just order your stuff online, pay a little extra, find somebody that'll already make your custom color, and they'll be happy to do it for you. You'll have your baits and you can spend more time fishing. If you have nothing else to do on a Saturday when the weather's not good enough to go fishing, then this is an excellent hobby to keep you out of trouble. So that's my opinion on starter heating sources and why the pros and cons that I found, to give you some idea. Hopefully that helps you make a little better decision, and we'll do some more videos on some of the other items.